Over 30 years of teaching, I've compiled a list of things I wish I could tell parents. Some are short, some are long, some are funny, some are serious. So, in no particular order, here's my non exhaustive list of things I wish I could say to parents, but can't. Don't raise an heir, raise a child. There are as many kinds of helicopter parents as there are helicopters. Medevac helicopter parents are always pulling their kids out of school for appointments. News helicopter parents are always pushing you for dirt on other students and their families. Drone helicopter parents are always hanging around school taking pictures of everything their kids do. Airlift helicopter parents are always sending their kids to developing countries to make a difference and pad the college application. Marine One helicopter parents are always bringing their children with them on their diplomatic and business missions. Stealth helicopter parents start every conversation with, "I'm not one of those helicopter parents." And Apache helicopter parents, that just speaks for itself. There's an easy analogy to explain second semester senior year. You've been driving down the interstate for several hours. No problems. Everything's been going great. Then you see the sign that reads, "Rest area 5 miles." All of a sudden, you have to pee worse than you've ever had to pee in your entire life. About half-mile from the rest area, you have to go so bad, you're about ready to pull over and go in the ditch. Most of the kids make it to the rest area, but some of them pull over and go in the ditch. Then the cops come and it's a big mess. It's that simple. Don't piss in the ditch. All students hit an academic wall at some point. What they've been doing no longer works. The brighter the student, the longer they can postpone the inevitable through sheer determination and intellectual brute force. At the same time, the brighter the student, the more devastating the crash. The question is, do we want them to have this experience in college with no support? Or do we want them to have this experience while they're here where people are there to pick them up, dust them off, help them reclaim their self-image, and teach them some new tricks? The advice that my ninth grade advisory gave was, fail a test early on to lower your parents' expectations. Standardized test prep, tutoring, AP classes, higher, harder, more, or else. Or else what? You can push a child to perform stronger on paper than their natural interests and abilities would accomplish on their own. Is this giving your child every advantage, or is it giving your child a false credential? If you push your child up so they're grabbing at the next tier of college by their fingertips, instead of standing firmly where they will be successful, what have you done? Their grasp on that next tier will continue to be tenuous after they've been accepted as well. One thing crumbles, and it will crumble, and your child falls. They won't land on the tier where they would have been most successful. They'll land below that. And you won't care because you'll be so grateful that they're in school and not dead. Happy, successful child who feels supported, dead child. What do you think? Ninth grade is the year for students to take control of the external elements of success. Scheduling, planning, time management, social interactions, things like that. 10th grade is the year for students to take control of the internal elements of success. Learning styles, cognitive strengths, accommodations, those things. Remember, students don't bring deficits to be filled, but assets to be cultivated. Junior and senior years are a great time for students to explore how they think and how they learn, what works for them and what doesn't. We spend a lot of time intervening and diagnosing. We tell kids what to do to be more successful. And that's great, to a point. We run two risks by doing this. First, we send the message that what they know about themselves is unimportant. And second, we send the message that they can't be successful without the interventions of others. What is more disempowering than believing your success is dependent on others? Students need to be challenged to be introspective. They need to be guided to determine for themselves how they can be most successful. We need to listen and they need to talk. Ultimately, they need to be empowered to adapt themselves to the world because the world won't adapt to them. Any kid with a couple $100 and a parent who is an attorney can start a nonprofit. Students get brilliant ideas, and we want them to succeed to the point of smoothing out every obstacle. That isn't reality. The rocky path creates resilience and truly meaningful solutions to problems. It takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 10,000 hours of focused practice to become an expert in a particular area. In 4 years, there are 35,040 hours. No matter how much you try, this does not mean your child will be an expert in 3.5 areas by the time they graduate. Put down the camera. Do you really want to look back on your child's life and realize that even though you were there, you were just watching it on a 2-inch screen? No one is ever going to watch those videos anyway. Listen to your children. No child has ever grown up to say that they wish their parents had talked to them more and listened to them less. Don't give your children ready-made decisions. Give them the tools to make decisions. Go into every interaction with your child believing they did the best they could in their particular time, place, and circumstance. Look for disconnects between intent and result together. Don't get hung up on counting APs and overlook the actual classes your students are interested in. They're going to differentiate themselves by exploring their passions, not by creating a generic good student credential. The first question you ask a math teacher shouldn't be, "When will my child get calculus?" Math, like any other subject, is a developmental process, not a discount ticket where 8 punches get you a free sandwich. What you should probably be asking as a middle school parent is, when will my child start using deodorant? Your children don't want to disappoint you. Don't disappoint them. CC your kids. As a teacher, I can tell you that no conversation that starts, "Don't tell my child I'm talking to you," will end well between you and your child. If you don't feel comfortable saying it to your kids, should you be saying it at all? And finally, there's no such thing as an adult prodigy. Even the smartest kid grows up.